This system going together, you know, was my own design and interpretation of this. I guess now it would just be user preference. If you guys want to still hook it up this way, by all means go for it. But you don't have to. You can set it up on a case-by-case basis. But the way I had this set up, or the way I envisioned this to be set up, was if you look on the PLC itself, you have all these, you know, X ports and the Y ports. The Y ports are your output. They're the ones that go out, actually send voltage to the solenoid valves and turn everything on and off. The X ports are your inputs for like switches, sensors, stuff like that, you know. So that's how that hooks up. And there's a little over 20 outputs and I think like 34 inputs. So the way I thought of this was I was going to take a series of little junction boxes, mechanically fasten them down to the deck, where I have some 1/4 inch thick hard plastic. I was going to make a little plate to mount these 3 plugs in. These are 24 volt weather resistant dim plugs, right? And you've got, you know, the male ends, the female ends, and basically you have one. I got this 9-strand irrigation cord. It's 18 gauge solid copper wire, individually insulated for this purpose. There's a whole spool of it back there. I also have some 3-strand of the same stuff. So basically I was going to take this 9-strand, have 1 plug for the actuator valve and 2 plugs for sensors, right? Just color code it, bring it back to the PLC and hardwire it. So basically I was going to hardwire 20 stations, 20 individual stations that, you know, they're just permanently mounted to the deck, and they have a, you know, quick connect valve next to it. Which I have the manifolds, the tubing, all that stuff. You know, it wouldn't take much to set this up, or you can set it up in a different configuration if you like. But these were going to be hard mounted into a plate with a cover. This is a waterproof, weatherproof cover, so that if you're splashing water around, it's not going to get in there. It's not going to short out the system. It'll stay cool. And then you've got the plugs. So say you've got, you know, this permanently affixed to the valve. You're taking this in your actuator to your sample. You mount this to the PC unistrut or whatever, you know, someplace close by that you can connect your actuator up. You plug this into the port and it locks down. It's got a gasketed seal, and then you can come back and set the programming, because this port will have its own identifier. It'll be labeled as, you know, this one would be like X2, and this one would be this one would be like Y2. These two would be X3 and X4, you know, and they would be permanently labeled as such.
Temperature? Is that also Boucher?
Huh?
What is this? Carlo Gavazzi, Italian?
Yeah, it's the power supply that was recommended by the manufacturer. So that was the idea to set this up. Like I said, you guys can you know, set it up a different way if you like. Set up the sensors the same way, just wire it in a plug. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with wiring these DIN plugs. They're pretty easy. Let's see here. This is